Hi, everybody. It's Glenda McDonald here, the Story Finder, and we're doing today is just a little practice session with my client, Crossfield Publishing, and also two of her authors, Jill Martin. Jill, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Jill Martin Boutillier. Boutillier and Phyllis Al Humby, and they're both novelists with Crossfield Publishing. And I've worked with Phyllis on one of her books, her memoir, which I just absolutely loved, Hazards of the Trade. And I'm just getting more familiar with Jill. But Tina and I have been working together for a few years. So the purpose of today's session is simply to introduce these two authors who are going to be with us again on Friday night at 7:30 on the Crossfield Publishing YouTube channel for a women in fiction authors panel. And that is something that will be broadcast again live on YouTube. And you can check out the Crossfield Facebook page or my page, Glenda McDonald, marketing consultant on Facebook. And we both have links to that event there. Anyway, I'm going to pass this over to Tina Crossfield, the publisher, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the event format for Friday night. And we've got already Phyllis and Jill are already adept at using the StreamYard platform because it is so straightforward, and that's why Tina and I love using it for our events. So I'm going to just take a step back, and I'm going to remove myself from the stream right now. Well, actually, I'll just stay in, but you can take it over now, Tina.
Okay. Welcome to everyone who is viewing tonight. Actually, it's this afternoon, isn't it? This is coming to you from Crossfield Publishing. My name is Tina Crossfield, and we're a independent press located in St. Mary's, Ontario. And I have to write this out again because it has several words. It's our acknowledgement, our land agreement acknowledgement with Indigenous peoples that we recognize we're situated on lands formerly occupied by the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Crossfield has been in business for a number of years, probably going back to the year 2000. Let's say the year 2000. We strive to publish between 4 and 6 books a year. The past 2 years have been extremely busy for us. And I'd like to introduce our women authors for this evening. The first is Phyllis Humby, whom I've known now for 3 years. Is it 3 years?
Sure went by fast.
It just went past really quick. So Phyllis lives in the town of Thetford, close to Huron shores. And her first book with me was called Hazards of the Trade. And it is a true story. It's a true memoir of when she owned and operated a boutique store in a small town on Huron shores somewhere. I don't know the exact location. I know it's not Sarnia, though. Yeah. Hazards of the Trade did very well. And during the time that we were publishing it, Phyllis let me know that she was working on something that was more dramatic fiction. Hazards of the Trade is it's a nonfiction book, and there's some very entertaining parts to it, very poignant parts. But she was working on something new, and she was curious if I would be interested in publishing that. And so I took a look at it, and I thought it was a wonderful book, and it was written in a different genre, which is interesting because not many authors write across different genres. They tend to stick to one, and most of their work is within it. but Phyllis has branched out not only into one genre, but several. And her book, Old Broad Road, is a contemporary fiction novel. Um, uh, has received very good reviews, and she'll be talking about her writing process in a little while. Jill Martin Boutelier, we've known each other a couple of years too. Jill lives in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, and sent me several chapters of manuscript that she had written about the immigration story of her family, from both sides of her family. And I was very taken with the narrative that she wrote and the amount of historical research that she had done, including very significant events in Canadian and British and European history. It's a delight to read this book. And Jill will be also talking about her work, and we have some really thought-provoking questions to ask of our authors. There are two authors who are not present at the moment, but they will be on a practice session. We have Marianne Jones, Marianne Jones, author of Maud and Me. It is a story of a woman who talks to a ghostly image of Lucy Maud Montgomery in her garden, and Lucy Maud Montgomery and her character have conversations that help the main character to deal with some of the issues that she's having in her life. It is a fiction book with a historical literary character, and we'll be talking with Marianne how she handles that kind of writing. And Joanne Cully, author of Claudette on the Keys, will also be speaking about her work. Her work is historical fiction based on memory and biography, and dealing with significant historical events, as well as interplaying it with music. Because her characters are pianists, so it's a great story. It again, very thought-provoking, very well crafted, as are all of the works by my authors. So that's just a little overview. Of course, I will script it out a little better, so I'm not talking off the cuff. And so after I've kind of introduced our four authors for this event, then we will pose the questions. We will get right into the questions, because what Glenda and I find is that when we're broadcasting, the time goes by really quick. So all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, minutes and minutes have gone by. We've been talking, and now we're in a rush now to get to the meat of our program. So my talk will be a little more condensed than it is right now.
And we'll try and also, just to interrupt, Tina, what we found worked really, really well for Joanne Cully's launch that we recently did for Claudette on the Keys was we had we shared a final document of the event timeline, so that we could all look at that individually, print it out or whatever, keep it at your desk, and you could see this is the time, and who's doing what at what time. This question starts at this time. You'll know the questions in advance. This question starts at this time, and then when we're going to wrap up, we'll have to leave time for that, and also for some audience questions. So our goal would be that the event lasts maximum an hour. So it could be anywhere 45 minutes to an hour. I think Joanne's lasted 35 minutes, but there was just her. It was just her. The other question, Tina, is the Indigenous land recognition. What we did for Joanne's, where there was yourself plus her and me, I didn't recognize Toronto because I was just the producer kind of in the background. But both you and Joanne recognized the areas that you were in, like St. Mary's, and also with Joanne, but where she was in Peterborough. But that was her event, and that's was important to her. I think in the interests of time, what we'll have to do is just do the Crossfield one, and just mention maybe the areas that the others are from, if, as you did in the introduction. But there's just, I don't think, time to read individual land acknowledgements for each of our, there's 5
Yeah,
of us there. So
I think we might lose listeners if we
I think
didn't.
especially because from what I understand, people that are outside of Canada, and I mean, that's the beauty about YouTube, is that anyone can be watching us anywhere in the world. And like, I know for David Pelly's event, we had people watching from Singapore and stuff. And unless you even, like what Tina does is she sort of explains why we're doing it. And that's something that people outside of Canada have no clue about. So it's good to mention the reason that we acknowledge that. And so she's sort of done that in her practice there.
Okay, so we should get Phyllis to practice speaking a little bit.
You can say whatever you like.
Oh, okay.
This is just so that you feel, because what I'm going to do now while you're speaking is I'm going to make you the star. I'm going to take myself and Jill out of the stream. Jill can still watch, but it just means she's not going to show up on the screen, so she can still hear and watch and everything. And but it'll just be the you and Tina talking for the moment, or maybe I'll just take myself out, and then you'll see how that works. Okay, but I'm here if I can pop myself back in as needed.
Okay. Alrighty, so you want me to start now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it's been an exciting couple of years since Old Broad Road was released. Unfortunately, during a pandemic, when there was no launch and before we had begun doing virtual events. So it was off to kind of a slow start, but I'm really excited to know that it is getting noticed. The reviews have been good, and I love hearing from the readers, and I'm getting so many East Coast messages that it's really heartening because, when you write about a certain area, it could go one way or the other. I was a little bit nervous about that. But I received an email just 2 days ago, a message from someone who lives right in the area of Newfoundland. That was the setting for my book. And so she was quite excited about it, and I was happy to hear from her. So things like that do happen, and it's encouraging. So we carry on, and hopefully by the time my next book is released, we'll be able to do a live launch, in-store launch. And so I'm looking forward to that. You see, I don't need any practice talking.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all looking forward to those days.
Oh, I know it.
We can get back into bookstores and talk with people and do some of the things that we love to do.
Well, in Ontario, they're saying that possibly by March 22nd, by the end of March, masks will no longer be mandated for public places. And of course, it depends on what happens with with COVID. But that to me is encouraging because possibly that means in the spring we'll be able to do more public events. So. Yes, I'm on Goodreads as well. And so anyone who is on Goodreads, it's wonderful to follow me there. And Old Broad Road and Hazards of the Trade are both featured on Goodreads. If you go to the buy now or buy, which I just did yesterday or the day before to see how that was going, it doesn't really take you anywhere. So I just want everyone to know, and I think I'm going to be posting this soon, to to know that the books are available from any bookstore. If they don't have them in stock, they can order them anywhere across Canada, and that they're not just available on Amazon right now, but you could also order from Crossfield Publishing. So they still are out there. They are available to purchase.
Okay, so we've seen an example now of a question. So Glenda has asked this question on YouTube, and that's how it popped up into our screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So people who are on YouTube watching can write their questions, and then like when we call for, are there any questions from the audience? Then people can type in their question, and then Glenda can post that question on StreamYard so we can see it and answer it.
How much time is going to be left at the end of our allotted hour for questions? Does it just depend on what's coming in, or?
I don't know. It's about 10 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
That's ideally. I think we'll find out more on Thursday if we're doing a run through, because today is really just to get Phyllis and Jill comfortable with the StreamYard platform. On Thursday, I'd like to have our run through script ready with the questions, so that we can at least guess how much time it's going to take, even if we're not actually answering all the questions, just to do. To get a sense of that, and especially too, because normally we have only one author being introduced.
Mm-hmm.
So this time we've got 4. So that's going to quadruple or at least triple the amount of time that's allotted to introducing the authors, depending on how much we include at the end, and also in the beginning and at the end, because Tina has to build in ordering information, like a slide that she'll either share from her screen, because if you have like YouTube or anything, you can do a screen share from your own laptop. Tina has, we've shared YouTube book trailers, we've shared unboxing videos. Joanne had a really nice little book trailer that we just signed off the whole thing, and I had asked Tina actually if she had a Crossfield publishing trailer. That's something in the future she's thinking about possibly having done. So I think that when Tina and I start to put the time slots in, assuming if there's 3 questions that are advanced questions that we set up, say each author has an opportunity to answer it, versus two authors answer. We haven't really figured out if each question is going to be answered by 4 authors, or if you're just going to jump in and say, "Oh, I can take that one." I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well,
jumping in really is great, because everyone will kind of be not knowing when to speak or when not to speak. So that way.
Yeah. Jill, what's your feeling about that? Have you done author panels before?
I have, in person, obviously. I've been at Word on the Street with 2 other authors. And so you do your own presentation, and then it's open to the public, or the people who are there. I thought that when we produced 3 questions, Tina, maybe you were going to say, well, that question is a duplicate of this question, or is it more important to hear that these authors have these 3 questions, and you answer in a minute, referring to books that you've done? Okay, I'm not sure.
Sort of a speed round, like a. I know sometimes.
Well, no, I mean one author, the next author, next that way.
Well, yes, and some of the questions are tailored to individual authors, because I like to show the scope of the fictional work that we're publishing.
Yeah.
And everyone is doing something a little different. So, So
it's like planning a lesson for students and having it broken down easily.
Yeah, it'll be broken down by the minute.
Okay.
Okay, so Jill,
if you have a question, then you'll be saying, Jill, and then you'll give the question, or, Marianne, and you'll give the question, right? So that we're not looking at each other wondering who's supposed to answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
you'll be invited to answer the questions.
Good.
Okay, that's I guess that's what I was getting at. So Tina,
Yeah.
I will just be staying in the background the way that I often remove myself once the event starts, and then I can just focus on the answering any questions in the chat.
Yeah, and then after the question is answered, then the other three authors can make a comment on it
Oh,
and
that's
say,
a
"Oh
good way
yeah,
to do it.
I found that too," and this is, this is what I think about it, or yeah.
And agreeing or supporting, or I found the same thing, that kind of thing. Well, I just wanted to let you know that it was 2019, I think, Tina, that we got together, and the first chapter I sent you, The Fling, over the last year I wrote it into a screenplay, just that chapter, and it's going to be produced in May of 2022 at the program called Locally Yours in Lunenburg, and there are going to be 5 short plays. One is mine. So,
congratulations!
I know.
I love Lunenburg. That's a beautiful place.
It is. It is. Well, I am on Goodreads. I like to ad lib answers from a script. I like that. I like being able to talk, and I miss that in the person to person. And how do we know if, like, for example, that From Thistles to Cowpies is actually on in bookstores? Like, how do I know that? Like, what I know the stores in Lunenburg, but I don't know anywhere else.
I have a list of where the books are.
Okay.
Yeah, and quite a few are being sold through Indigo, like chapters.
Oh, okay.
Indigo. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, just wondered how that was going.
Yeah, you'll find. Yeah, what was I going to say? It'll come soon because I've assembled all of the reports since January, and the thing is, they only post me the reports. Like, they post them once a month, but it's also not until the book has sold,
Right,
and won't be returned. So there's almost 4 months in there between when a book gets sold,
right,
and then they declare the sale to be final. Yeah. So, like, I'm getting actually some money now from the distributor for sales made back in April. So
it's certainly
slow.
delayed. I agree.
Yeah, they're very slow. Yeah, but the book is selling. We sell copies every month.
Well, that's good.
The same with Old Broad Road. We sell copies every month. Yeah, my biggest, the most frustrating thing is working with Amazon. It is just a beast. So
I thought that the distributor had someone that was their only job was working with Amazon. Like, my books haven't been on Amazon for at least a year.
Yeah,
and that's okay. If they're not on there, that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but you can handle it. But it's when the books are showing and it says unavailable and unsure when they will be available.
I know.
When a reader wants to buy a book and then they see that Old Broad Road's unavailable.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Well, I keep going back to the distributor saying, look, I gave you this list of titles. I gave you the covers. I gave you everything. Like, come on, what's happening? So I sent 6 titles in the second week of October. They all appear on Amazon, but they say unavailable.
Like, that hurts more than anything.
Yeah. Well, it does, especially when there's hundreds and hundreds of copies in the warehouse.
Yeah.
It's certainly available, but there's somebody that's not doing their job.
Do you think that is there some setting, like does the distributor have, there may be hundreds of copies in the warehouse, but does FitzW earmark those for physical stores over Amazon? And do you have to change that proportion in some way by telling them?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And the information goes to Amazon as a data feed.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You know, and it's the same data feed that goes to BiblioShare and Catalyst. It's the same, has the same content.
Now, have any of
The
the
same
books,
HTML is the
have
same
there
thing.
been any books that you submitted through FitzW to Amazon that have gone on Amazon? Or is it since you started working with FitzW? Because is there a setting within Amazon that you as the publisher has to go in and turn on to say, yes,
No,
they're
I
available?
actually, Glenda, I was so mad at them, I closed the account.
Oh,
I completely closed the Crossfield account.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because there was something in there that was causing a glitch.
Okay.
And so, well, I said, well, it's Henry Whiteside supplies Amazon. They have a person who's responsible for doing that.
But do they have a sales page on Amazon?
No, it's just here's the copy. This is how you buy it. You buy it through Amazon.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay. So it's just like any other product that was being shipped from China or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just,
If you put individual, now I don't know about the other authors, obviously, but if you put an individual book name into Amazon for the search, it doesn't come up at all.
mhm.
And then if I put in my own name for the search, then the books do come up. But
Mhm.
they say currently unavailable and unsure when they will be available.
Mhm.
Actually, I just attended a Goodreads seminar this morning with Alessandra Torres. I don't know if anybody of you know of her. I think her inkers.com is a an author support website, and it was an excellent thing all about Goodreads. And she said that there is a setting that you have to be careful to make sure that when you've got a book that's released or going to be released, the AWIN number. Do you guys know about that? Okay, because she said if you don't go into your metadata and actually pop that into the metadata, when someone searches your book, it just comes in as part of the general search for all the books. But if you pop that in, then it does bring people faster to your book.
Yeah,
So,
I think that number is a number that's generated by Amazon.
yeah, you have to copy and paste it from within your
Yeah,
Goodreads account or your
it's
Amazon
not
account.
connected to the ISBN. It's
No, it's
an
separate.
item. It's an item that Amazon creates, which is part of the problem, actually.
Yeah, and so you have to actually go in and copy and paste that and put that into your profile, into the book profile somehow. Anyway, that's just, I don't know about it because I haven't used it, but that was something she specifically said that people aren't aware of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's see all these gray hairs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work to get a book published from an author's end, and then the publisher's end. It's a lot of work. But then to have a book published and out there and no one can buy it.
That's right.
I mean, that is just, now you can talk about gray hair.
Yeah, well,
ulcers.
this is a topic that the story finder, Glenda McDonald, is quite interested in researching. So I'm going to see what I can find out about that.
Good,
What other,
good.
you know, from my end, what other authors are having issues and what other publishers, you know, because this is something I never heard of until now.
I have a question. If I want to put something into the chat, how do I do that? Because there's no place that says chat at the bottom.
Have you looked at comments? You're in the comments thing. Because on mine, it says post a comment at the bottom of what I'm viewing. So
No.
have you got
And then there's private chat on my screen. There's comments.
Yeah.
And right beside it is private chat and the box.
What I'm wondering, Jill, is your screen very horizontal? Are you seeing the actual bottom of like it's under where, can you see where it says Jill is on Goodreads? Because right after that,
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, below that it says post a comment.
No, there's no below.
Okay, I do see someone's private message to me. Tina says hello. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just testing that out.
Okay, Jill, can you see the private chat button?
Yep.
Okay, try and type something in there and I'll see if I can see it.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
There's Phyllis is in. Okay, but Phyllis just said hello.
Yeah.
And then yeah. Okay, so whatever you're doing there, if you click back to the comments page, you should be able to do the same thing at the bottom.
No, there's no bottom.
No, because that's on YouTube.
I'm doing it within StreamYard. Are you doing it within StreamYard, Phyllis?
I went in on the link you.
Oh, okay. So you may have to actually then. Okay, I thought that when you guys were, this is news to me again. You know, I'm learning as we go too. That I'm typing it in the StreamYard studio. I'm not even looking at the YouTube page at all. So within StreamYard on the right-hand side, like on my screen, there's like the four of us. Can you see the four of us? Okay, so then and then underneath I see the four of us again, which I can control kind of in the green room, where I can add or remove people from the screen. And I can also change how people appear, like this or like that, or, you know, like this, depending on if there's a presentation. But right to the right of that, in my view, is I have all of the comments, which are streaming from YouTube into StreamYard, and then also the private chat. So I don't even have to look at YouTube. So it may be that you would need to type your comments into the private chat, which I'm seeing. And then if we have to put that into the public chat, I can copy and paste stuff in.
Yeah, because that's really the chat between the four of us.
Yeah,
The private chat is just the people on the panel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you need, if you want something to be posted on the YouTube and you don't want to be on YouTube yourself, then you can let me know. Now, if there were people on YouTube that were commenting, they would appear in the stream that I'm looking at as well. Right now, I'm the only one who's commented because I think we've got two eyeballs, but I have no idea who they are. They might be Phyllis and Tina if you're looking at it from a different device. No, Phyllis and Tina, if they're looking at it from a different device. And I'm one of them. I'm looking at it from my phone. But anyway,
so we can't comment on that comment.
You can comment, I guess. I thought you could comment from here. So this is a big surprise to me. Like, I don't know.
We can only comment under the private chat.
Okay, and if you do that, I can copy and paste it if you want to say post this or something. But the other option would be then just to keep your keep a separate browser or your phone open with the chat window so that you could type a question into there. Because I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess the other times, generally it's just been Tina and I posting in the public page, and then it's people in the audience. I haven't really had the other co-hosts add to the page too much. It's usually been Tina or I responding to the public's questions. But as I said, if you wanted to have me copy and paste something into the public feed, then maybe what you could just do is say, please post, and please post my reply or something, and then I'll just copy and paste it right into the public feed.
So I just wondered, so then after the live show, the comments will be in YouTube.
They're on YouTube,
So if there was a comment to Jill or to Marianne,
you could go back and then comment after.
We could go in and we could answer it.
Yeah, as long as I don't delete the broadcast or hide it. And that's one of the reasons that I like to leave them up, even if they're not considered absolutely professional. This is the whole thing about doing live broadcasting, is that this is all off the cuff and people don't know what the heck they're going to get when they come. And that is one of the reasons why live events are so popular. They're much more is much more engagement. And I mean, we had up to 100 people that were chatting in David Pelly's event. And I think, 25 or 35 people attended Joanne's, and, probably 5 or 6 comments there. And I was answering them, or Tina was answering them from, because I think she was logged into the Crossfield YouTube at the same time on a separate laptop. And then she was just answering some of them directly on there as well. But yeah, you can absolutely go back in. You can follow my YouTube channel. You can comment on that. You can make sure that you put a reminder on for our session for Friday night on Tina's channel, because the Friday night event is listed under the Crossfield YouTube.
So the practice session, though, that you're not leaving this one up on your YouTube.
Hopefully not.
Well, I can.
Well, yeah, because if anyone Googles writers and they put in the name, I mean,
Your name. I haven't.
Comments
Yeah.
and things that I wish.
Yeah.
You don't even think about that they're going to be out there for absolutely everyone to
Well,
see.
what I haven't done is, if you'll notice that the event name is called TC PLH
Yes.
JB. I didn't put your names in there, and I don't think I put them in the description either. So this is just my own personal YouTube channel, which has hardly anybody following it, and nobody.
It's not a big deal. I just
but no, but I like I said, I have to investigate the settings, because there is a way to turn it into like a hidden link, which you've probably attended events before where they were live, and then after 24 hours they hide them. So I can change the setting. Right now it is there, it's on YouTube. You can go back and look at it and see it again. But part of the reason I like to keep these, although I do download once it's finished, it also, one of the features with StreamYard is it automatically creates two things for me. It creates an audio file, and it creates a video file, which I then download to my own computer. So then that gives us sort of a farm team of sound bites or screen snaps or stuff, that there may be something that is said that is a great little clip that I could later edit and use for other things. But yeah, so the plan isn't to keep these up permanently. I think the other practice sessions are still up there and on Facebook. And nobody's really objected to them being there. If someone feels strongly that they want it deleted or hidden, then I certainly will do that. But I'm not in a rush to do that. Because it's, like I said, I'm not really promoting your names. It's just that this is a practice session for authors to show how StreamYard works. And that's part of my business, to get more people to learn how to use StreamYard. So
we should probably remove my comments about Amazon.
Well, that's in the
need to
audio.
hear them.
It could come back to haunt me.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, Tina, it's things like that you're not thinking when you're talking. That wow, that.
It's okay that Google owns YouTube, not Amazon, so they won't care.
Could Google Tina Crossfield Amazon, and who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean there is a transcript, and I can go in and edit the transcript. But again, there's so much on YouTube that the chances, I mean, this is a public discussion. We didn't say anything. I made sure that we didn't say anything that should not be said. I think you're not the only publishers and authors that have had issues. And I mean, when I was on the Goodreads thing this morning, the same comments were made there, and that was a public event. It's just part of public education. I mean, we've got to figure those things out. I mean, people certainly talk about Facebook without any problem, about privacy issues and algorithms and stuff. I mean, this is the real world. Anyway, so plus anyway, so anything else, Tina? Because how do you envision us ending the event? We have the 3 questions and the authors answering. We're already at the point now, we're at almost 40 minutes. So we can imagine that at this point we would be starting to wind up. And how do you envision us rolling out the end? Are you going to have this is how you buy the book page with all 4?
I've put together, I'm going to share my screen here.
Please do that.
Okay.
Because we need to have something that shows the covers of all the books as well. Because we don't really have any graphics. I've got the authors' faces and the name of the event on the YouTube event ad, which, by the way, I can change the event ad at any moment, the one that you see on YouTube. If I've spelt something wrong, although I've edited it myself, and it should be fine. but there wasn't enough room within the small thumbnail for YouTube to include also your books. So unless I had a photo of you holding up your book, I could substitute that for the picture of you in the ad. If you wanted to, Phyllis would have a big pile, Jill would have a big pile. Just hold it.
Or when the author is answering their questions, I don't know how you can do this because I'm not technical that way, but you could have the image of their book next to them, like on the screen.
Yeah, that's a little tricky to do within StreamYard. Now, what Jill did, or sorry, what Joanne did was quite interesting. She had a music stand behind her because her theme is music, and she had the book sitting on the music stand.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So even if you like because of where you're sitting, you could have your book on the shelf with the, Jill could have it facing outward so that people can see the front. You can be creative about how you present it. But here's Tina's now sharing her screen. Okay.
Yeah, except that.
Remember, you have to go right down to the middle one and click on that one.
Yeah, but it's.
Is this PowerPoint again, or?
Yeah.
We just, Jill and Phyllis, we go through this every time. This is why you have practice sessions, because there are certain things that are a little tricky to do. And when you do a screen share, okay, you took it away.
This is like, I had it up and I don't know why it's not working for me at the moment.
And you're in Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay.
So while we're waiting, Glenda, are any of the authors doing public readings or anything yet?
Tina would have to answer that. Yeah, Tina. I sometimes I hear about stuff if they've posted it on their own pages. I don't manage all of the authors' pages. But Tina works with Nathaniel, the publicist, to set up some things. Like I think Bruce Hutchison, Dr. Bruce, recently did something, and Rick Ravel just did something. So usually when I hear that they've done something, then Tina has a little budget for me to go in and share some social media things. And so I kind of.
It'd be nice to be able to start doing that. Hoping.
Yeah,
well, and again, it's a budget thing. Sometimes, the budget limitation is at the publisher end, but the authors have a little bit of funds available. So sometimes I work with publishers to do a launch that the publisher doesn't have a budget for. Because often they can kind of do, either on-site or virtual, but not both, because there is a cost to Tina. Like for us, it's like Tina's covering the cost of this panel for Friday night, and I charge her for that. So
I'm still dreaming of the little book tour that we had so hoped we could have 2 years ago.
I know.
When Hazards of the Trade came out.
Well, believe me, Phyllis, I remember that was my one of my first official book editing contracts, and I edited the first couple did the first 2 edits or whatever. Someone else, I think, finished it off for Hazards of the Trade, and that was such a wonderful experience working with you. And so, of course, I was particularly excited. Oh, my author's book tour is starting, and she's going to be, what was a Biblioasis that you had the launch for, I think, with the next day that you were supposed to go to, and then everything shut down.
Yeah, we had the book launch set up for Insarnia.
Yeah,
and
that's Biblioasis, isn't it?
The bookstore, it was.
No, it's the bookkeeper.
Oh, the bookkeeper. So the Sarnia bookkeeper. Right. Sorry, I'm getting confused. But I remember that, and I was so disappointed because, like, all of a sudden, like, here's Phyllis's launch the next day, and I'm so excited, particularly proud of one of my quote authors, and was going to really publicize this, and then boom, everything shut down. And then instead, what I had to do was promote the very cute video or pictures of Tina and Phyllis at the boot of her car, halfway between the
I might go
publisher and the
watch it in
author
the
with the
parking lot.
champagne and the book signing in the box in the books. I thought that was just hilarious, and it still lives. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of virtual. And okay, how are we doing, Tina? You having difficulty with that screen share?
Yeah, I am. I just have to take a call here just a sec.
Okay, go ahead. I can remove you from the screen for a minute.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just us now.
Yeah. No, I think everyone that's published in the last couple of years, we're all kind of anxious to get out there and do some readings and visit some bookstores and be able to talk to our readers. I'm really excited to be able to do that.
Well, I think that you both do a really good job with your social media. I worked with Phyllis in the beginning, and then I've basically taken a step back because she's so good at it herself. And I haven't been involved with any of Jill's work other than sharing her own postings, because I don't know if you have book pages, Jill, but I know you. I think you've got an author page at least that I kind of try and. Yeah, so I try and reshare from that. And I know when Phyllis and I started working together, there was the question of, do you have a book page or just an author page? And I think that that's sort of a personal choice. In the beginning, we started off with a Hazards book page and an Old Broad Road because they have different audiences, so it's that allows you within Facebook to build audiences. Like if you have memoir and then you have fiction, there's crossover, and everybody's got their own opinion on that. So we don't automatically do a book page for every book. It's a budgetary decision. It's a personal choice decision. It's a publisher and author decision. We learn as we go.
It's time consuming, really time consuming.
It is.
Having, four writer pages on Facebook. And then I always hesitate to ask someone to join the page because, all right, I've already done this for 3 others. How many pages do I have to support and like and follow? So it would be a lot better if it was just an author page.
Yeah, I just have an author page.
Yeah,
and my books are on it.
Yeah, and I think that would be perfect, because what I found too with my readers, even though the 2 books are totally different, if they read one book, they usually go and seek out the other. So I'm really happy for that. But they're 2 totally different books. I agree with you, Glenda. Yeah.
Certainly one of the things, and again, Jill, just a little background on me, is I have a psych degree, but I also have an MBA in marketing and international business and 30 years of marketing experience, and a social media certificate. So that's sort of the mix of skills that I have. And I'm also a freelance editor and writer. So I come into this with a kind of a broad perspective, and everything I tend to do with Tina and with the authors is always thinking about the best bang for our buck.
Right. Can you link my website to anywhere? Do you do that?
Well, your website is linked to your author profile, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you need some help with your Facebook page, just go into about the page. Oh, Tina's still about it. Yeah. So when you go into your Facebook, to your author page, just literally what I do when I'm setting up a new author page is I go through all of the settings and I look at each one, and I just read what's the question. And it may say something like, do you want profanity filter on? Yes or no? And so just go through every single setting. And then in your about, make sure that if there's a field for your ISBN for your latest book, put that in there, or make sure that your description on your author page is always up to date to mention your latest book or your launch date. Make sure you've got a link to an event for upcoming launches. And that's, I have an event for this Friday night event, even though it's happening on YouTube. If you go to the Crossfield Publishing page, you will see, and I think Phyllis has shared the event to your page, the Crossfield.
Oh, yeah.
But Jill, I don't know if you have shared to your author page the Crossfield Publishing event on Facebook, which links to the YouTube.
No.
Okay. And if you need me to walk you through this, I can talk to you separately. I can call you toll free. So we can, don't
And
don't
Jill,
worry
you
about
can
that.
put your URLs on your Facebook author page in the settings, like Glenda
But I don't know what that is. The
Well,
URL of
they'll ask if there's any other websites you want to list, and you just put your website address in there, and
Yeah,
then
it's just in the settings for your
okay.
page.
All right.
yeah.
Okay, Tina's back. Hello.
Uh-oh. Was that Amazon?
No.
Uh-oh.
No, it's just
life.
it's just another issue.
Oh.
Happens a lot.
Okay, we are still live, so
Okay.
happy
So
Christmas, everyone.
And we're all waiting with bated breath.
okay,
Go
so
with that old the Gypsy Rose Lease.
yeah, okay. So I think we should sign off. Glenda, if you can stay on with me after on StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm going to end the broadcast now, so I'll just say goodbye to everybody, and I'll end that, and then
Bye, Jill.
I'll slowly remove you from the I'll leave you both in the studio for a minute as Tina and I are signing off. You'll see behind the scenes, so just don't go away when I hit end. Anyway, thank you everybody for attending. This was just a practice session. It may be deleted from the from my channel, but it's valuable for training purposes for me, so I may be leaving it up for a little while. Okay, so thanks very much, and make sure to join us on Friday at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time on the Crossfield Publishing channel for the Women of Fiction Authors panel with Jill and Phyllis, as well as two other of the Crossfield Publishing authors. See ya.
Okay, thanks everyone.